Hi, I wrote a book which became an international bestseller, which was very surprising to me, simply because I didn't really know what to expect. It was only my second book, and I think it became a bestseller in 13 different countries. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that the title was The Pain Paradox, and so amongst a few people, I guess I have a reputation of being able to really help and transform people's pain and also show people the meaning behind pain. So today's video is about the purpose of pain in our lives, because I think the sooner that I began to understand that pain wasn't my enemy, it was actually a friend, a warning sign, and a guide to help me on a mind, body, and spirit level. Really, the more peaceful I became, and I stopped making pain something that was like an enemy. So the reason why I want to do this video is because what I'm noticing is there, of course, is such high, intense levels of suffering and pain going on around us at the moment. And it's all, I would say, in the last 15 years, what I've noticed is it's hugely pouring into our bodies at the moment, because we have the internet, we have the immediate access to terrifying news, and we're not just hearing news about our friends and their levels of pain and suffering and struggles and challenges, but we have it internationally coming at us all the time. And I'm working with a lot of people who have underlying issues with anxiety, which is an appropriate response, let me tell you. Because if we're flooded on a daily basis, it becomes too overwhelming. And of course, our bodies register pain. So not only are we dealing with our own pain, but we are often dealing with other people's pain. Now, the net result can be that we just switch off. It's too much for us. And yet, if you are willing to look at pain completely differently and see it as a friend, believe it or not, then my experience for myself and working with a lot of people is that you can begin to guide your way through lovingly the periods of pain that you will inevitably and personally go through on multiple levels. And if you do that, then you don't have to necessarily stay in the vicious cycles of suffering. There is a huge difference, because in a way, when you're endlessly just suffering, you can be inevitably victimized by it. Whereas when you are in pain, you can still make it manageable and you can still be in charge of your life. Now, I do have the audacity to say that because I'm not just a practitioner and pontificating. I was born with some very rare diseases, and one of the gifts that my body gives me still is the capacity to register pain. And that guides me every day about what I can do and what I can't do. I've just come through the 44th procedure. Most of those are spinal. And I'm really privileged to be able to swallow, to talk, to move around, to have use of my physical body still, to have use of the organs. But one of the key ingredients that has enabled me to be able to do that is I've stopped resisting the inevitability of pain. So before I burble on, a friend of mine says that he enjoys my burbling. So I hope that you get something out of these videos. Before I just conclude this, I just want to invite you to think about what is your relationship with this word pain. How do you respond to pain inside yourself? Are you somebody, for instance, that runs away from your feelings? Are you okay when you're happy and joyful and peaceful, but are you unhappy when you're unhappy? And are you unhappy and resisting when you're feeling angry or tired or lonely or frustrated or you're grieving? Do you resist yourself when you have what is called negative feelings? In the world that I live in, there is no such thing as negative feelings. There are no good or bad feelings. There are just feelings, and they are guiding us. And a lot of people that I work with unintentionally create more pain for themselves because they resist the inevitability of what our clever bodies are telling us. So if you're in overwhelm, for instance, with your own circumstances, there's much more that you can do about it than we are taught. And also if you're in overwhelm about other people's suffering and the world's suffering and the world's pain, there is much more that you can do about it than you think. And the fact that you know you're in overwhelm is actually an incredible beginning. So please respond to this. And if you are in overwhelm, just give yourself a break and do some, it sounds such a small, simple thing, but every single time I'm in overwhelm, firstly, I don't resist it. Secondly, I sit with it and I immediately know that that is what is right with me, that I feel overwhelmed. And then thirdly, I can just sit quietly and take a moment and breathe a little bit more deeply. I can get my shoulders down and I can attempt to relax. And then I can remind myself that I'm not alone. And if I just sit quietly enough and ask the universe, in my case, I pray. I believe that prayer is just sitting quietly and asking the universe. And I'm happy with the word God, but God has had such dreadful marketing that a lot of people are absolutely terrified of the word God. But in my case, which I don't want to impose on you, I do believe that there is an absolute universal God who is loving and has our backs. But we need to sometimes stop living in the illusion that we are alone. We're not alone. I heard someone the other day say with such aggressive force, we're all alone, we live alone, we die alone. That's not my particular experience. So please remind yourself that you're not alone, and that if you ask and you practice asking, and even if you don't know what you're asking, I'm just going to show you what I do, and I'm not going to shut my eyes, but this is what I usually do. I do shut my eyes, and I take a swallow, and I do some breathing, and I relax, and I go, Heavenly Father, Heavenly God, universal love, unicorns. I don't think God, by the way, has an ego. So whatever you are into that allows you to remember that you're not alone, somebody that you dearly loved that maybe is no longer physically with you, just say, I need help, please. I need help. I'm in overwhelm right now. Sitting in our humanity and admitting that we know we need help and we're in overwhelm absolutely helps immediately. And then the last suggestion I'm going to make, which I practice all the time, is allowing yourself to ask for help from the right people. And even if you don't know what that looks like, for most men and women, actually getting onto the phone, ideally being able to actually physically see somebody and just say, please, can you just give me 10 minutes of your time? Do not fix me. Do not try to help me. Do not try to sort out or get solutions for me. The solution is for you to hear me and listen to me. Let me find my way. But the way that I can do that is for you to just witness and listen to me. I hope those suggestions are helpful. Please practice them. Please come back to me and tell me how you're doing. And I'm sending as many blessings as I've got within my heart and soul, but because I absolutely bother to attach myself to what I think love is, there is a lot of power coming through to us all of the time when we ask. Take care. Bye.